Welcome to the 12th Horseshoe Podcast, live on the brand new 12th Horseshoe Podcast YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for those watching on our brand new channel. And we are still live for now on Surge Sports YouTube. So don't forget to also subscribe to Surge Sports as well. Today's show is sponsored by Proven Italian American Deli of Moonachie, New Jersey. Welcome, Jack. And are we ready to break down week 3 in the NFL, which is absolutely crazy?
Absolutely. Like both our teams won on Sunday, so we both seem to be in pretty good moods this week for the show.
Absolutely. We'll be in great moods indeed. And we'll get to all 16 games and we'll break it down and make our Thursday night pick, which will feature the Cowboys and the Giants at the end of our show. But don't forget, this Friday at 7 o'clock, join us for Prediction Friday. It's back at it again. Prediction Friday will be live at 7 o'clock, and the Fanatic will be our first guest picker of the season. So don't forget to join us live this Friday, 7 o'clock. The Fanatic joins us as a guest picker. Let's get to the games. We have 16 games to recap with. We did not have a show last Friday, so we need to recap the Thursday night game. So we'll start off with the Patriots and the Jets on Thursday night. The Jets took a victory over the Patriots 24-3. The Patriots looked absolutely awful in that game. It looked like that they were that they weren't the team that they were the past 2 weeks. The Jets went in there, and Aaron Rodgers showed what he's got. Jack?
Yeah, it was. This game was never really close, Eli. The Jets jumped out to an early 14-0 lead. New England was never really close to coming back. This was just a dominant performance, Eli, and it's certainly an encouraging sign for the Jets. You know, we haven't seen the QB play. We haven't seen QB play like this from the Jets in a very long time. Probably not since Vinny Testaverde or Chad Pennington.
Wow.
Way back then.
You gotta go all the way back.
I went for them. I got the pick right, but I only have the Jets winning by 6, so I underestimated them a little bit there. But Eli, you did have the Patriots as your upset, so I think you might want to have that one back.
Yeah, I got that pick wrong, but I did pick the 24. That was right.
Okay.
Right or no?
Give yourself some credit there.
Broncos over the Buccaneers. Shocking one there, 26-7. A disappointing day for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Broncos looking bad for the first 2 weeks. Went into town and got himself a victory. Jack had the Buccaneers for the lock week. He was wrong. And I had the Buccaneers winning, and I was also wrong. By the way, Jack went 8-8 this week. I went 5-11. Both of us went 1-2 on LSU Lock Survivor upset. Jack, what do you got for us on the Buccaneers game?
Yeah, this was a disappointing one, Eli. You start off 2-0, and then you lose at home to a team that was 0-2 and only had one offensive touchdown in the first 2 weeks. I don't know how I don't know, Eli. I just really thought the Bucs would dominate this game, but hey, credit to Sean Payton and Bo Nix and that Broncos defense for coming out to play. Once again, Eli, you went half the score right. You did get the 7 right once again. But
give myself credit.
Yeah, so you get like half point plus half point. So 1 point for you.
1 point. We'll give myself the win anyways.
Not really that great of a performance for the Bucs. They definitely need to be better, and it's not easy. They've got the Eagles next week. We'll talk about the game in just a minute here.
All right, then. Next game, Texans over the Vikings, 34-7. Sorry, Vikings over the Texans, 34-7. A big shock there. Jack got the upset right with the Vikings win. I got the pick wrong. Texans really, really played disappointed and go to show that, you know what, their first 2 weeks performance, they struggled. And they don't look like the team that we saw last year. And they're struggling a lot more this year, despite having 2 wins under their belt. We'll see if they can win next week, though. That'll be the big question for the Vikings. Very impressed to be in this situation, and they look like they could be off to a winning good record. Jack?
Yeah, I talked about it on our show last week that I just think the Vikings they have the momentum right now, and that, you know, being at home in front of the home crowd was going to help them, and it certainly did. This game was not close. I thought the Vikings would win, but I didn't think they'd win by 4 touchdowns. That was crazy. 2 interceptions from CJ Stroud. You almost never see that from him. We talk about Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. How about this Vikings defense? This is like the 2017 Vikings defense here. They've only allowed 3 offensive touchdowns all year. That's pretty crazy. Brian Flores has done a remarkable job there. The Vikings have held 2 of their 3 opponents to under 10 points, all 3 to under 20. They've done a great job, Eli, and the Vikings are 3-0. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. They've got a tough one against Green Bay next week, but this is probably the best story in the NFL right now is Eli, Sam Darnold and the Vikings being undefeated and proving all the doubters wrong.
Absolutely. And now, am I saying this right? The New York Giants, 5 on the opening kickoff, fumbled the football, yet somehow beat the Cleveland Browns 21-15 in what is said to be on the road one of the biggest upsets. We both had the Browns winning. I had them for Survivor. I was wrong, clearly. And at least I got the 15 right.
Again, oh my goodness, wow.
Well, like I said, I'm good with these score predictions, Jack.
You sure are.
Fortunately, though, how did the New York Giants win a football game? That is absolutely mind-blowing and ridiculous. I mean, the Browns are really that bad that they lost to the New York Giants after the first play was a touchdown for the Browns after the fumble on kickoff. Unbelievable. And this team is by far going to be the worst in the NFL this year.
Well, it's amazing, Eli, how an elite wide receiver and decent O-line play can make a quarterback that much different. Is Danny Dimes back yet? I don't want to say he's back, but I will say he's played much better this season. And Malik Neighbors, first player in NFL history first rookie in NFL history with 20 catches and 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games in the NFL. The Giants defense has honestly played pretty well, all things considered. That front 7 is looking good. Devin Singletary had a nice game. Just a good win for the Giants. And as for the Browns, that offensive line is completely decimated. And the defense didn't really play well. Deshaun Watson, I don't really know how much longer he's going to be starting for this team. But a good win for the Giants, though, Eli, on the road. Very impressive.
Shocking, too. Next one. Packers over the Titans, 30-14. Not much more to say here. The Titans had 2 touchdowns. They weren't great. The Packers, however, no Jordan Love. They still played great. So now that's a big question. When Jordan Love returns to the Packers, will the Packers continue to win games or will they go and continue to lose? That is the big question that we will have to answer because remember, Jordan Love is quarterback. The Packers lost that week 1 game versus Philadelphia, and he was a quarterback for a majority of the game until the very end. We'll see how that plays out. But Jack, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, actually, this is the first game this week that we both got right. So give ourselves a round of applause there. It looks like the Titans kept the wrong quarterback, if we're being honest here. Will Levis leads the league in turnovers. That's the reason why Tennessee's 0-3. Their defense has played well. They didn't really play well in week 3, but they played well the first 2 weeks. But they just had absolutely nothing going for them. The Packer fans took over that stadium, and they took over this game rather early. That Jair Alexander pick 6 was pretty much that game was pretty much over after that. But credit to Malik Willis, though. We like credit to that Packers defense. That looks really good. Xavier McKinney, an interception of each of his first 3 games. After signing that big contract there. When they get Jordan Love back, Eli, I've said the Packers are a Super Bowl contender. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but if they can win back-to-back games with Malik Willis, who had never won a game before or had never thrown a touchdown before this season, they can do anything, Eli. Trust me, the Packers are a very good team.
Okay, fair enough. The next game we're going to talk about the Colts over the Bears, 21-16. And guess what, Jack? I got the 16 right. Can you believe it? But the pick was wrong. Because who would have thought the Indianapolis Colts would win the game?
I didn't, and I'm a Colts fan.
No, you didn't. You picked the Browns or whatever, Bears.
No. You said who? No, you said who thought Colts would win. I said I did not.
Oh, you did not. I was gonna say. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Well, maybe I did. No, I didn't. We played horrible. I'll just get right into it. Both teams played horrible. Ultimately, the Colts made less mistakes than the Bears did. The Colts won the turnover battle. That's why they won this game. And Jonathan Taylor is still one of the best running backs in the league. 2 touchdowns from him, another 100-yard performance. And the defense finally had a good game. Latu strip sack that set up the Colts for the touchdown that put away the game. Rough for the Bears, guy. The Bears really need an offensive line. They have none. They have a good defense. They have a quarterback who can make plays. They've got good receivers. They have no offensive line, and that's what's costing them right now. But hey, good win for the Colts. It wasn't pretty, Eli, but pretty wins, not pretty wins. It doesn't count in the NFL. You get into the playoffs for your record, not for how well you played. So I'll take it.
The Steelers over the Chargers, 20-10. Jack got the pick wrong. I got it right. And Jack, for somebody who praises Mike Tomlin, has not yet to pick them. That's the crazy.
And it's working. Part. It's working.
Not really, but whatever. The point being is the Steelers are looking really good. And is that because Justin Fields is a quarterback and not Russell Wilson? When Russell
Wilson because of Mike Tomlin
starts, will that be an issue in Pittsburgh? We will find out when the time comes. But for right now, Justin Fields is their starting quarterback and we're driving this team into future success. Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Chargers, Eli, but again, we made these picks early in the week. I didn't realize Justin Herbert's injury was that bad. If we had made the picks on Friday, I might have changed the pick. But, I still will take the loss, obviously. But hey, the Chargers were leading early in this game. But Justin Herbert's injury combined with Justin Fields' good second half performance put this game away. Steelers are playing well, Eli. There's really no other way to sugarcoat it. I know the competition's been a little iffy, but 3-0 is 3-0, Eli, and the Steelers are looking really good. And I think Justin Fields has definitely earned the title of starter for the rest of the season. I don't think we're ever going to see Russell Wilson play for the Steelers, which is honestly a good thing. That'll be so boring. Justin Fields is pretty exciting.
Absolutely, indeed. Next game, a big shock there. Eagles Saints 15-12 came down to a wire. Saints fought it to the end, but unfortunately got their first loss of the season. Eagles get a victory on the road in New Orleans. We both got this pick wrong because we both picked the Saints to win, and I was a little disappointed. I really thought the Saints would pull through, but it turns out it was Philadelphia at the end result.
Yeah, I thought this game was a little disappointing, Eli. I thought this game was going to be a shootout, to be honest. I thought there would be a ton of points scored, and it would end up being 3-0 going into the fourth quarter. Not to the fourth quarter, we finally get some scoring drives, but Saquon Barkley, what an addition he's been. 5 touchdowns in his first 3 games with the Eagles. The Eagles' defense really stepped up for them in this game. Their defense had been a little shaky the first 2 weeks. Dallas Goedert had a big game. So did Saquon Barkley. But the Eagles need their receivers back. A.J. Brown still out. Devontae Smith out. They need those guys to get back. As for the Saints, yeah, they came back down to earth a little bit, but the defense looked good. And even the offense didn't move the ball that bad. The Eagles' defense just made some big-time plays. But it was a fun game, Eli. I thought it'd be more of a shootout, but still a good game, though. I still think both the Eagles and the Saints are going to be solid this season.
All right, excellent to hear. Next game, the Panthers over the Raiders. You got that right. The Panthers over the Raiders. I can't believe I'm saying this number, 36-22. 36-22. Jack had them for survivor pick of the week, the Raiders. That was wrong. I had them to win. That was wrong. The Andy Dalton, is he for real? If the Panthers can win next week, Andy Dalton may be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, and Bryce Young can potentially go down as the biggest bust in NFL history. Can you believe I'm saying that? And this is coming from a Raiders team that just beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Baltimore by 3 points. Can you believe this game? I think that was one of the biggest shockers of Sunday football.
Yeah, what an embarrassing way to let down your home fans in your home opener against a team that went 2-15 last year. Goodness, Eli, I think you're right. I think Bryce Young is the biggest bust in the NFL history. I mean, the Panthers are a terribly run organization, but it's not really good luck when Andy Dalton goes out there and throws for over 300 yards and actually gets the ball to his
36 points.
Yeah. And to be honest, though, Eli, the Panthers defense didn't really show up the first 2 weeks, so they showed up on Sunday. I don't really know what the Raiders are going to do with their quarterback because they've got the weapons. They need a quarterback who can get it to them. They need a better offensive line. They need a better coordinator. But, wow, what a win for Carolina. Eli. I don't even know the last time Carolina had a win like that looked as good as this. Probably week 7 against Tampa Bay a couple of years ago when they won like 21-3 against Tom Brady. That's like the last time I can remember.
And that was the last time.
Yeah.
A big win for Seattle, 24-3 over Tua Tagovailoa, who wasn't playing, over Miami Dolphins. It was a crazy game, literally. The flags were an issue, but they got the win regardless. I don't know. I just couldn't believe they won. A lot of inappropriate things were shown. If you know, you know, and you saw the things you know. And overall, Seattle absolutely incredible in that game. I mean, there was definitely some few adjustments that they had to make. But to get a big win like that, that's awesome. And now they're going 3-0 heading into Detroit, who they beat last year in overtime, by the way.
The year before. They beat them twice in a row in Detroit.
Absolutely.
2 years in a row. Yeah.
All right, but Jack, go ahead. Break it down for us. I mean, there's not much to break down. But yeah, Seattle had the big win.
It feels like the score was 17-3 forever. It feels like for like 2.5 quarters, the score was still 17-3. Seattle. I was like, I had my 3 TVs on, like going through, and I kept looking over at Seattle. I'm like, it's still 17-3. That's still the score. But hey, credit to Seattle. DK Metcalf looks like he's gonna have a career year there. That defense, Eli, that defense is for real there in Seattle. They've certainly played well. I think they've only allowed 3 offensive touchdowns all year, which is very impressive. Not an easy game next week going into Detroit, Eli, but Seattle can do it. Mike McDonald's the real deal. Good win for the Seahawks. And as for Miami, I don't know why you're going into that game with Skylar Thompson as your starting quarterback. What are you giving up at this point? But we'll see what happens with that.
All right. Well, next game, the Ravens over the Cowboys, 28-25. Dallas almost came back in the game, but no. The Stephen A. laugh comes in as they lose the Dallas Cowboys to the Ravens. Jack got the pick right. I got it wrong. 28-25 was the final. I couldn't believe it. I really thought Dallas was going to come back at the end. That was a crazy moment. That was pretty interesting. I mean, but credit to the Baltimore Ravens for actually winning the football game. Jack?
Oh, sorry, my camera got screwed up. Yeah, good win for the Ravens. I wouldn't say a good win. I mean, they nearly
Well,
blew
how
with
was you almost
nearly
lost.
blew a 22-point lead. But Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they finally showed why that might be the best QB RB rushing duo in the league. The Ravens defense needs to be better. John Harbaugh needs to be better. But good win for them. The Cowboys have been a joke so far this season. Only win against the Browns, who look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. We'll see what happens, Eli. But the Ravens certainly need to learn how to close out these games because it's nearly 2 weeks in a row they let this slip away. I will say, Eli, you were very close to getting the score exactly right. You had 26-23. It was 28-25. So only 2 points off for each team, even though you didn't have the right winner. But hey, take it where it's due. You had good score predictions this week, Eli. So
All right. Thank you,
keep
Jack.
doing it.
Lions over the Cardinals 20-13. Unfortunately, not the Cardinals did not live up to the expectation in that game as we wanted them to. They did cut it close. They did have opportunities, but they didn't execute it at the end result. The Lions did come out with a victory, and they played very well in that game. They were in Arizona. It was definitely a different environment, but Detroit comes out on top. Jack?
Yeah, this is an interesting game, Eli. I did have 20-13 for one game this week, but it was the Seattle-Miami game, not this game. So
And
close.
that was not even close.
So close.
Not really.
But anyway, no, the score was right, just not for the right game. But good win for the Lions, Eli. That play where Amon-Ra St. Brown caught it and then flipped it back to Jameer Gibbs.
That was awesome.
Was unbelievable. As there goes
Finley.
Making her daily appearance here.
Yeah, she wants to make sure she's in the spotlight.
Good game, Eli. This was really all about the Lions defense, which looks so much better this season. That secondary is improving. They're dealing with a couple of injuries in the trenches. They gotta hopefully those are nothing too serious. But good win for the Lions, Eli, and the Cardinals. The Cardinals continue to play well, Eli. They've done a good job so far this season, and that game against Washington next week is going to be really fun. Jaden Daniels versus Kyler Murray. That's going to be a
one heck of a game.
TV. Yep, must-see TV.
49ers lose to the Rams. Can you believe that one? 27-24 was the final. I was up by 1 point for the I had 20-21 the final. Regardless, though, San Francisco, are you kidding me? This is coming from a team who lost to the Cardinals. The Rams lost to the Cardinals, and yet somehow, by a miracle and by a toe, literally a toe, they won and beat the San Francisco 49ers. I couldn't believe it. I'm still shocked even until now. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, weird game, Eli. I mean, both these teams were banged out. The 49ers really should have won this game. Brock Purdy and Jawan Jennings did everything they could. Jawan Jennings had 3 touchdowns. What a performance from him. But, man, Kyle Shanahan still does not know how to close out games. He's like John Harbaugh. No. He does it in bigger games. This is Sean McVay's first meaningful regular season win against the 49ers since 2018. The 49ers have really owned them. But, hey, credit to Matthew Stafford. He still knows how to do it on game-winning drives. The Rams defense stepped up in the second half. Just rough game for the 49ers. And sitting at 1-2, not ideal, but they have the Patriots and the Cardinals at home the next 2 weeks. So they should be able to get back on track.
All right, next game on the list. Chiefs over the Falcons, 22-17. The Chiefs took the victory in that one. A very big win for them, and I'm very surprised about it. They did good, and they came up with the big victory at the end. Falcons did not play as well as we thought it would be. 22-17 was final, not even close. Jack was 10-19. So here you go.
Hi, Jay. I'm not sure. This might be John Randall. I'm not sure, but hi, whoever Jay is. I'm not sure who you are. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And look, we've got Jason in here.
I'm volunteering at a town event. I'll watch this later. Go Colts.
That's right, Jason. Go Colts. You're absolutely right about that.
Continue to volunteer. Stop watching on your phone.
All right. Yeah. Oh, damn. Chiefs, Falcons. Fun game, Eli. I watched this game. It was really fun. Both teams played well. The refs made a couple of mistakes, but the Falcons just had a really dumb 4th down play call that cost them this game. What else is new, Eli? It's the Falcons. They keep finding these amazing ways to blow games. But the Falcons have still looked good, though, Eli, this season. I think once they start to get some easier opponents, they'll start to play well. As to the Chiefs, it hasn't been pretty, but 3-0 is 3-0. We'll see how they look next week against the Chargers. Potentially no Justin Herbert. We'll have to see.
All right, we will take a look at it indeed. But if you want to talk about a team that blows lead, I'm sorry, one more time. Let me rephrase that. Not blows leads, but barely tries. 47-10 the final. Buffalo over Jacksonville. What is Jacksonville sleeping? 47-10 the final in Buffalo. I had the lock of the week. I was right about that. Jack had it wrong. Jack had it right. I'm sorry. He had it right.
Oh, I was gonna say I did definitely pick the Bills.
Wipe that sweat away. But Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was just everybody's got to get fired in Jacksonville and Buffalo. What a big win for them.
Yeah, 47-10 is pretty pathetic, Eli. And if it couldn't get worse, Jacksonville's plane was stuck in Buffalo overnight. They couldn't leave until 1 a.m. after this
Oh,
game because of issues with their plane. So really could not have
oh
gotten
man.
worse for Jacksonville.
Oh, it can.
They've been the worst team in the league this season. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, I know at Buffalo is not easy to play at, but losing by 37 is crazy. And now you go to Houston next week against the hungry Texans team that's going to be hungry after that loss to Minnesota. Man, Eli, Jacksonville's in a really tight situation right now. They've got to turn things around and fast. Otherwise, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, they're all going to be gone. So not exactly ideal for Jacksonville.
Final game to recap: the Commanders over the Bengals, 38-33. I couldn't believe it at all when I saw the score, and Bengals played sloppy. Commanders, they were the Commanders. They looked good. They played well, and maybe I'm right about that pick, even though I didn't pick them. About my winning the NFC East, because the way they played and beat Cincinnati, they're showing a lot of potential. Although they do have a tough battle next week versus Arizona. Big surprise, big win for the Washington Commanders.
I will never doubt you again, Eli. So anyways, hey, before Jason, George, or anyone else does, I'll jump on the Commanders hype train with you. I'm all over this Commanders hype train. The secondary, oh my goodness, the secondary is bad, but everything else about the Commanders is good. That offense played unbelievable. Cliff Kingsbury, what an offensive coordinator hire he was. Cam Taylor-Britt, one of the Bengals defensive players, said before a game that this is a college offense. Well, that college offense put up 38 points against them. What a game from Terry McLaurin, and Washington going on the road in primetime and beating the Bengals. Nothing better than that, Eli. And let's see how they play next week. But I'm excited to watch this team. Nice feel-good storyline. New ownership with Josh Harris, who's also the Devils owner, so you know him pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Eli, it was a great win for the Commanders. Good for their fans, and let's see where it goes from here.
All right, now that concludes the recap for week number 3, and now it's time to pick our Thursday night football game. Looks like for this Thursday night, the Cowboys will take on the Giants. Dallas is favored by 4.5. That's 8:15 p.m. on Prime Video for those watching locally in New Jersey, New York. You can watch it on Fox 5 New York. My pick this week will be the Dallas Cowboys, 35-3. I don't think the Giants are going to put more than 3 points, 35 points. And guess what? My survivor pick for the week. Even though we're eliminated, but technically by the podcast rules, you can be back and buy in because, we're still playing that rule. You know how that works, right, Jack?
Yeah.
So, and we're both out, so we're going to keep a continued survivor pick. But anyway, my survivor pick, Dallas, 35-3. That's my survivor pick. I hope they win it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants get blown out, Eli, but I mean, I do have them losing by a lot, but I don't think they're going to lose by that many. I actually have them losing by exactly half the margin you do. You have them losing by 32. I have them losing by 16. I'm taking the Cowboys here, 29-13. There's going to be a lot of Dallas fans there, Jason being one of them. We'll see how this goes.
Are you taking anything for them?
Cowboys have lost 2 games. No, not going to. I usually don't for division games. It's a little risky to do that.
Remember, the last time the Dallas Cowboys went to New York, 40-0 was the final score.
But it was in the rain. Is it going to rain on Thursday night?
Let's double check the weather, and I'll let you know. Now, time for meteorologist Elijah to tell you weather here in New Jersey.
Eli gave us traffic reports all of
during the game.
The Weehawken game.
Well, there's a hurricane. I know that for sure. But
what?
No, not here. But it's Helene. It's like in the Gulf Coast, Century, Florida.
Oh no!
It's going to be a 55% chance of rain on Thursday.
Yeah, stay safe, Florida.
It is going to win.
But yeah, Cowboys win 29-13. That's my pick.
No, nothing to it.
Nothing to it. Just Cowboys. No survivor, no lock, no nothing.
Okay. Well, that concludes this week's week recap show. Join us on Friday at 7 o'clock, where the Fanatic will join us to pick the games. We cannot wait. We hope you join us then at 7 o'clock right here on the 12 Twitch Podcast YouTube channel or on Surge Sports. From Jack Rizzo, I'm Elijah Weintraub. Go Seahawks.
Go Colts.
Go Devils.